Hello, everyone. We are here for another weekly Mojo reading quiz session. This is Nige, coach.
This is Nicodemus.
Nijai Infinity.
And Nijai Starglow.
You guys, can you hear me?
No. You guys can hear me?
I hear you perfectly.
We hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I can't hear you, but I'll go ahead and just say what I was going to say. Charlene's going to take you through a Nijai versus Nizai quiz, and the focus is going to be on the two distinctions that are most prominent, which is the difference between the Shai emoting of the Nijai and the Shi emoting of the Nizai, so the unaware versus the aware, and then the difference between how far the emotive just goes up the face, the range of it. For the Nijai, it's going to go up to just the brim line, which is above the midline, so their value's based, and then the Nizai will not. You'll see that localized emoting, almost like there's an area of motion embedded in an area that does not move. Sometimes it looks like a little area of quicksand or an area of water surrounded by earth terrain, where that part is liquid and mobile in a noticeable different texture and level of tension as compared to the cheeks. With the Nijai, it won't be like that. The kind of movement, this kind of like fine movement you see around the mouth and lips area, it continues into the cheeks, that expansion. Whereas with the Nizai, it doesn't. There can be quite a lot of mobility and large smile that goes more sideways than up in the mouth area. But in the cheeks, they're doing a different rhythm, so look for that. Okay, take it away, Charlie.
Coach, I have a question.
Go ahead.
No, so with the Nijai, we know that it goes up to the to the brim line. But for the Nizai, is it one of those things where it does extend, but it just extends so much horizontally?
Yes, it extends much more sideways than it does upward.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just sharp hat.
Right.
And also, because of that, it'll make rather distinct cuts sometimes underneath the cheekbones. So they don't always have that. Some of the softer face Nizai are more tricky that way, but in general, there's a trend there.
Right.
Okay, take it away.
Any other questions?
Oh, yes, any questions?
Oh, okay. So we'll get into the quiz then. What we're going to do is run through a quiz of Nijai versus Nizai. So I have it whited out. I'm sure we're going to do round robin on that. Within the context that Coach just laid out. You guys see the screen share?
Yeah.
Well, cool. So I'll start off. She is Nizai. Let's see. I guess bonus if you get her name. I don't know.
No, this is just the mojo.
Just the mojo? Okay. So I'd say. Okay,
and we know the answer, so that's going to be too slow. So if it's wrong, I'll correct.
Okay.
But you should know I already correct.
Nizai.
Nijai.
Ooh. I'm gonna say Nizai.
Said Nizai.
Nijai.
She is Nizai.
Okay.
Nijai.
Maybe we'll find out.
Nijai.
Nizai. Nizai.
Nijai.
Nizai.
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 Nizai, but I wonder if has she been changed? Has she been purified to something else? Or she's still Nizai?
Nizai.
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 Yeah.
See it there. Go sideways.
I'm having a little trouble hearing y'all. Is it my turn or are we waiting for Mitchell?
Yeah, it is your turn.
Okay, Nizai.
Did Mitchell join us?
Looks like he's doing it.
Okay. We'll keep going as we are. Nizai.
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 Zai. Okay.
Nizai. Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Am I up?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Nizai.
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 Well, now she's leaving. Nizai.
Nizai.
Nijai.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Nizai.
She's a Nizai.
Nizai.
Nijai.
Nizai.
Nizai.
The Nijai cheeks, they plump up when they
Nijai.
smile.
Can you guys hear Coach when he talks? Hey guys.
Yeah.
We don't understand you very well when you're speaking. That music is really bad.
Saying that there's feedback.
It might be good music to listen to, but it's hard to concentrate.
It sounds really distorted. Is what I mean.
Yeah, I can.
I have no idea if the music's good or not.
That was music?
I'm gonna try and speak now though.
Sounds like someone's playing
The
the
Nijai, when they smile, their cheeks plump up more than the Nizai do.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
Nijai, they have more sheer looking kind of cheeks. More like
Yeah.
island plump.
Yeah, they're quite saying that they have like sheer cheeks.
More
Or
less archipelago.
Talk
You
about
know?
like to have more movement in the cheeks, but
yeah, let's
a visual like artistic would be that they plump up. It seems like they also plump. Nizai go.
yeah. You guys heard that?
Mhm.
I'm not understanding really when Coach speaks.
I heard him fine.
Okay. Where were we at?
I said Nijai on that one.
Okay. Nizai.
Nizai.
Ooh,
Wait, can I participate or?
Mitchell. Yeah. So Mitchell is
Oh,
not
sorry
there
about
yet,
that.
right?
Yeah.
No,
And
it's
then you
fine.
guys
I'm
can
just
go-
just like wondering like where I should fit in.
Yeah. Then yeah. Go
My bad. My bad.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right.
Your turn. Then.
What?
I said that it's Ben's turn, right?
Yeah, it makes sense for it to be Ben's.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, I said Nizai.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna say Nizai.
Melissa Marcel?
Yeah, she's actually
Nijai.
She's
shy
Nijai.
with a very Asian
Okay.
smile.
Yeah, she's a Nijai. I'm not able to see anything right now, so you might need to speak.
Oh, okay. It's Sienna Miller, if you know it off the
Oh, she's a Nizai.
yeah.
She a Nizai.
She's a Nisha.
Okay.
Nicki Minaj.
Nijai.
Nisha.
Nizai.
Nijai.
Oh yeah. Nizai.
I said Nijai.
Nizai. Okay.
Nizai.
Nijai.
Nijai.
Nizai.
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 I said Nijai.
Nijai.
Nizai. Okay.
Yeah, she said chisel features.
Nizai.
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 Ben.
Oh, sorry. Nijai.
Sorry.
Nizai.
Nizai.
Nijai.
Nijai.
Nizai.
Nizai. Ben, you're up.
Oh, yeah. Nizai.
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 Nizai, actually.
Nijai.
Nijai.
Nizai.
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 Nijai.
Nijai.
Nizai.
Not sure on this one. Is she Nijai?
She's a Nizai.
Cool.
Nizai, Captain Zulu Jones.
Okay, thank you.
She's married to Nice.
So we'll go ahead and answer those questions when you get over the agencies, and then go ahead and get the weekly quiz and hear the answers.
Okay, answer questions.
About,
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
so tell them they'll know you're changing over.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm about to change over to a Demas's machine for a bit while Coach takes care of a field approach here, and so we'll continue.
Okay.
This session. I haven't discussed anything. I didn't discuss it, did I? I talked. Yeah, I just did a collage. Collage. The only thing I did was I closed the collage we were working on. I believe so. Dun dun dun.
Alright, what time is it?
Whatever you do, it's awesome data, so thank you. Alright, so there's going to be 3 in here. There's going to be the Nizai, they're the logic-based ones, Nizai.
It's just that it's being a little loud, the volume. We're doing a hangout right now. So, yeah.
Is it frozen?
I'm here. I mean,
I think they just muted.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I don't think
No.
they're frozen. I think they're just muted and on the screen.
Yeah, they got the infinite screen going on.
yeah. Pretty cool to look at.
The Inception background?
Yeah.
It sounds like they're in a different coffee shop today. If I'm
Actually, no, it's the same one.
the
Same one.
Oh, here comes Charlene. Yep. Okay.
Hey guys. So did you guys have any questions or thoughts about the Nijai and the Nizai differences?
You know, most of my thinking was kind of going into how it feels to go back into collaging, because we haven't really gone through collage exercises, and not extensively anyway.
Oh yeah,
Since
not
going,
nearly as much.
doing all of these quizzes and then exercising, you know, our reading people based on video footage abilities, and it is kind of cool just because it feels a lot easier. Like a lot of these people I don't remember, but it's like I can relax my lens and it's like there's the answer. It kind of just pops. So.
Yeah.
It I don't know, you know, it feels really cool kind of going through these, and you know, each sample looks differently, but you see the abstraction that is the face of Nizai or the face of Nijai, and
Yeah, and really like the Nijai have that what we call like the rhombus area.
yeah,
And it really like jumps out for the Nizai, that area, the fact that their mouth goes sideways and then their eyes really pop because
Yeah.
those cheeks are sheer.
yeah. The fact also like the way that their eyes are tracking G too, so you see like the awareness in the eyes too.
Yeah.
You know, versus like knee eyes, it's tracking the Z.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And they're more, otherwise they're more unaware of the social dynamics.
Right.
Yeah. Even though they're both very quick, they're both very engaged in gathering
Yeah.
information. So their eyes have that quickness. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm noticing that with the Nizai, or just the collaging again, it's just kind of interesting. Like Adam said, I was good friend with that out, because for me it was actually a bit like I was a bit nervous looking back in the collage. It's like, oh, do I still have the same kind of abilities that I had before when I was doing them more actively? And so there was a bit of a like a shaky bit that kind of came up, but. It seems kind of like pretty much like you just kind of look at it and then the answer kind of reveals itself. But yeah, Nizai and Nijai, they're different. You can see the Jai and the Ni kind of fuse together as momentum with the Nijai, and the Nizai have the Ni and the Zai kind of like as a single kind of compound, and it's momentum for them. And I can start to pick out the way that the different powers are positioned in terms of the ranking a little bit better now. I'm kind of like, that's kind of opening up to me a little bit. I'm noticing. I don't know. Yeah.
I think I'd actually like to get back into collaging more as a study. I find that when I get away with from collaging for too often, my video reading ability starts to go down. It really, especially since we've had, I really haven't done any collaging since we've done this major purification. And there have been a lot of changes and upgrades in the purification that I don't think I've quite integrated yet.
Yeah, I know that for me, I think it would be good. I feel the same thing now that Coach has done this major purification. I feel like intuitively, and then I've gone back to some of the samples and put them in collages, but yeah, doing like a massive update in the collaging now that we've had the purification. It seems like something that's important to do to update some of those old like wrongly tagged or updated mojos. Sure, I think that'll help a lot.
The pattern recognition template of the collages is what I use for Mojo video readings. And if I don't have the most up-to-date collage pattern, I find that I'm not as successful in the video reading either.
Yeah, they really work hand in hand in that sense.
At least for gatherers, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of more like the Rosetta Stone, kind of like being able to research and find out like, oh, who's this, and then kind of like putting them in and then finding them. It works really well for me personally.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep, I can, Coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys see me?
No.
No, it's
Yes.
just black. Or,
It's still screen shared.
Let me go fix it on that side.
Are you guys working on collaging?
We did do a collage with Nijai Nizai.
Okay. Are we moving on now?
We're in the discussion phase.
Okay, good. Because I can't see the collages, I'm not going to be able to.
So they're not on here at all. I mean, they were on before.
Good. Because I'm on my computer. I'm on an iPad right now. It's not even mine. My computer's.
Oh yeah.
Really
I just use my tablet myself.
I was thinking one of the things that might be helpful with some of these bandwidth issues, and sometimes when people can't see the collages or whatever, is to have all the, I know I've said this before, but to have all the collages updated and loaded into Scribd so that some people can scroll along with it even if they can't see the screen for whatever reason.
That's a great idea, Scott.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. Or to have them kind of like, at least not necessarily in script, but like in document format, so that we can like go through them on our own.
Well, I
It
think
works great.
because Scribd is so
Yeah.
much faster scrolling.
I'll get
Hold it on your computer.
No, stay here. I'll use.
So that you don't have to, like, if you've got, bandwidth, you've got how much memory space you have.
Oh yeah, downloading a file while you're doing this might make your bandwidth a little worse.
Oh,
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So if everybody had the link for Scribd, we wouldn't have to download the document or anything like that while we're scrolling through.
Okay, Coach and Jai just left.
And it wouldn't take but about 10 minutes to load them in before the Hangout, So it's just a thought.
Yeah, definitely. It would definitely help.
I think they restarted their.
Yeah, they should be back in a sec.
Yep, they're back.
There we go. Let's see if things work out. I think it should be better.
Here are the answers.
Can you look at me yet?
No, I'm not.
Good. Still surprised by then. Alrighty, which quiz sample you guys on?
We're not on a quiz sample.
We haven't started yet.
So I say, whoa.
Oh, you guys are
Start quizzes yet.
still doing the collage between Nizai and Nizai discussion?
We were discussing.
No,
it.
We were waiting.
We just
We were
finished.
waiting.
We just finished talking.
Gotcha.
Alright.
Okay, I'm going to get started then. The first sample is Morel Enos.
Yes.
Actually, before we get started, because I don't want to cloud your answers to cloud what you say now, so I'd actually like to collect this data now. What were you guys feeling about the hint? Was it helpful? Did it get in the way? Just so you know, what I was trying to do is I was trying to give a reason for your psyche to want to take another look. So you have the reason to take like an initial read, and then you can go back a second time to see if it matches up with the hint. That was my idea, but it was experiment, and I'm curious.
I actually really like this because like it kind of like encouraged me to like to not be so quick to assume that it's like one particular mojo. It sort of allowed me to sort of broaden myself out and go with like a few, and then kind of go back and compare and see if any like you know I have two of the same for any and work that out. So it was pretty interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I felt boxed by it.
How did you feel?
You felt
Biased?
Boxed.
Boxed. I personally, because I feel like it was an interesting kind of a modifier to the quiz. It made it. I thought at first it would make it easier because you kind of know what to expect with the quiz samples, and you know that there's going to be a certain mojo. There's going to be a certain number of them of a particular mojo. But actually, I found that it kind of it did make it easier in that way that you kind of knew what to expect. But it kind of made it harder in the sense that sometimes you might have like 3 or 4 people or samples that you might think are like the same mojo, but because of the case with this modifier, it kind of made it so that you'd have to choose between those particular samples that you think are that mojo.
Right on that.
Which was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought that,
because that's what I'm saying is because then, if I'm getting you correctly, you would have actually left it at that first pass on your native instinct. But this now told you that your instinct need to like do another rep. It needs to like try to run another try at it.
I appreciated that. Yeah, very much.
Coach,
I didn't like it.
Okay, that's good to know.
I liked it very much. To me, it felt very much like a puzzle, like almost like a Sudoku puzzle. Like
exactly.
Exactly what position, what person had what mojo and what position. The only problem was, in the absence of this hint, I would not have compared one person to another person. It would have been a person in isolation. But then by putting other people together, you kept comparing person X to person Y.
Exactly.
This sounds like good effort. Then this is actually what I wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. I think
there are 2 things. The one thing that Glenn said, which is that you would have to take a second look past your first instinct. That's good. And then that you were comparing and contrasting samples with like an intense scrutiny. That's actually good too. So that's encouraging. But then, Starglue, could you elaborate on the being boxed in? Because I really want to get a full idea of how this affects things. I'm trying different stuff out and see what works.
Well, it did feel like a Sudoku, and I hate Sudoku.
I hate Sudoku.
I hate them. It makes me like. It makes my vibe go absolutely berserk.
I agree with you.
It makes me nuts.
I have this problem also. I concur.
I think it's like a good healthy use.
Yeah, for me
It's a
it felt
like
and whatever the answer is, it's fine. I'm just kind of collecting data. Is on the being boxed in, like by Zai is trying to track the Z of that. So you have a sample, like kind of following what Glenn was saying. You have a sample, you think it's such and such, and then you go to another sample, and you think it's the same such and such design. And then you know that can't be right because that wouldn't fit the hint. Now that felt boxed in. Did you feel? Did it? I'm curious.
I would be grateful.
No, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious between because there's being grateful. There's also just the fact that you now know that you have to flex again on something.
Yeah, for me, it felt like.
But I really do want to know what. I really
Somebody
do want to
else
know what.
needs to articulate this.
Well, actually.
I'm curious because it's fascinating to me. I really want to understand it. Please.
Yeah, Jailene.
For me, what happened was when, I had this instance where I got to a sample and I would have read them as something that I had read another sample as, and so I knew that that was impossible, and so that caused me to be like, oh, well, there's an answer outside of what I thought. Actually, it's exciting for me because then I'm like, oh, okay, I know that can't be the same. So for me, it excited me because I'm like, well, what is it then? And so then I would go in deeper, look into both cases deeper, and really try to see what am I missing? So for me, it was kind of that hint helped me out. I think.
I agree with
further.
Jailene there.
I don't know if it'll pan out in my answers. But
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
No, I just the boxing in thing. Just Nexi kind of warned me there might be something to that. So this is something I was somewhat expecting, and I'm curious what there is to it. There's that, and there's also the element I'm aware of, which is kind of like if you do relatives. It's a double or nothing. Since you may think that both people are one or the other, if you guess it wrong, you probably got two wrong, not one.
Right.
So,
and Coach, this actually has relevance to what Ben tried to mention today about one of the samples being found in an earlier Hangout.
Correct.
Because that got me thinking. Then that actually subdivided us into the people who had already turned this in before today versus the people that actually had the extra time today.
Right, and that I
this.
have to take responsibility for and
Yeah,
apologize
that's okay.
for.
I feel like that was more of like, I mean, like, because if that didn't happen, then it would probably been fine. It was just like, I don't know.
Oh no, that was well
I hadn't actually
appreciated.
started until like way early this morning, so if I'd started earlier, I would have been able to notice it earlier. But.
Okay, so on the boxing in element, if I could hear a little more about that, and also what you guys feel about the fact that it's going to kind of put you in situations where you're doing double or nothing reads. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I had a few thoughts.
The double or nothing piece maybe it's just part of it is that I'm not far along, and as say Jailene and Ademus are, or even Mitchell and Ben, as far as my accuracy. So when I got to that place where I was seeing two, and I knew that couldn't be right, it was like I don't see which it is. I don't see, and it was more and more frustrating. And the more frustrated I got, the less able I was to find the answer.
Yeah, I think.
It's risky because of that double or nothing.
Okay, can I jump in here real quick? Because I realize there's a third element I want to talk about which she said brought up, and it may be a critical one that I think may be useful sometimes, maybe not others. Is something that Jailene what it was, and now I kind of crystallized it with Starglow. You're also going to have something which we haven't done before, is having a quasi-depth to your motion reading lens during the week, not just at the Sunday session. So now that could be seen as a positive or a negative. Seems like Starglow, that was rattling you quite a bit. And with Jailene, you said it was exciting to realize, oh, I'll need to do a lens upgrade. And it's kind of like a midweek lens upgrade.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like this.
Because with the hint, if you make an instinctual guess and then the hint corrects you, you kind of got like a mini, quasi-death there before actually doing the.
Right, but Jailene's Vi is higher than mine, and so it was making my polar Vi absolutely. I can't even tell you how frustrated I was with this week's quiz.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, this sounds like something that generated a lot of energy, which is what I wanted, but also it may be something where kind of like, we do like peak athletes, you're cycle training. And some training can be really awesome, but you're only doing it all the time. So it sounds like
Yeah.
this might be good sometimes to do because it added some interesting drivers to make you want to read more than you normally do, but also seemed like it added some substantial pressures as well. The double or nothing and being corrected with your lens midweek, so you're kind of having to quasi-day twice a week. So maybe it's something I'll cycle in every so often.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to point out that like you don't necessarily have to not guess like Knee's Eye, for example, on Tuesday.
Yes, that's a good point. Several people actually did that.
Yeah, you can actually do that. I mean, yeah, that guarantees you won't get all of them right, but it'll split your. It'll make it more likely you'll get one of them.
That's a very good
Yeah,
point.
my Z doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, that's an
My Z
interesting
doesn't
idea.
like guessing more than one thing when I know
No.
it's not
When I
possible.
know it's not right.
It's a strategy. It's just a
That's
strategy.
Yeah, it's totally understandable. I can understand it like you want to go in that way, but it is interesting that Ben mentioned that, and there were several other people this week that actually did do that strategy instinctively. So it's something
Technically,
there.
I mean, you are going with what you think the answer is, so it's not like it's technically like wrong on your part. I mean,
No, that's not.
so I mean, logically it doesn't work, but it increases the odds of one of them will be right. So I don't know.
Well,
And
that's
in a way,
true,
no,
and I
Ben, and in a way,
seriously
it's
considered
actually,
that.
in a way, it is actually a true statement. In a way, that may be jarring of what your confidence is in the read. You're like, I know that one of these is a Knee's Eye, one's a Knee's Eye, but I'm seeing Knee's Eye in both. So that's what I'm going to say. You know, so
That's interesting. I didn't think of that actually. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I didn't
I
even.
actually thought of that
Yeah.
strategy, and my Z went, you cannot do that because that's not the way it's built.
yeah, I can understand.
I did the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to get 100%.
I prefer not having to do it.
You
But I
kind of
think-
have to
I
like
think-
sacrifice that.
I think it's something I will kind of cycle in on a periodic basis, and the next time I do it, I think I will also mention that people can guess whatever they want. They can guess the same mojo for multiple samples. That's fine.
Remind them of that.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. Okay. Thank you very much for the feedback. I wanted to kind of know what that was, and I'll get more feedback from you as we now give the answers out, but I want to make sure before that happened I had some data there. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and do the first sample, which is Morel Enos, the actress.
So hard.
Okay, so I said Naishi.
I said Naiji.
I said G9.
I said Ziny.
I said shiny.
I feel like she's a Naiji now, but I said Shiny.
Jainu.
I said Nija. Sorry, Naiji.
She is Naiji.
Yay.
Okay, so that's interesting to note that several people got different answers, so that maybe one will, besides missing it, the misses were actually a bit different locations. We got what, a Ziny, Shinai, was there anything else? Or are we going two?
Shiny, right?
Shiny. Okay, so I thought her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shiny
good.
too. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So next up is Emily Chang.
I said Jinai.
I said Jinai.
I said Naiji, and that's wrong.
One question: How come I can't see Charlie Venus' screen?
I have no
My bad.
idea.
I accidentally disabled the video, so.
Ah.
There it goes.
There you are. Yeah.
No likesing faces.
Who's next?
I said Nishai.
This is our crew. It's awesome.
I said Shinai.
I said the Knee's Eye.
Said Nijai.
And I said Jinai.
So many different answers. I love it.
This is a G9.
Oh,
Nice. So she's
I
another
got
one.
the drums mixed up.
that means I got another one.
Double or nothing. Got me.
She was tougher one. I actually, when I was on her, I went between a couple of things before I got her. All right, next up, this was one that I think people were stronger on in general. Valerie Curry, the actress.
I went Nishai on her.
I said Nijai as well.
Classic.
I said Nijai.
I said Nizai.
I said Naiji.
I said Nijai.
Said Nijai.
I said Nizai.
She is Nijai. we can go over her, but I think a lot of people got her, and actually, people that are not on air right now, several of them got that right as well. Okay. Next up is
She's
Caitlin.
one of the ones. She's actually one of the ones I changed because I thought there was another Nijai.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Aaron Buffet.
So yeah, apologies for that. My bad. That also tainted the reception of this new kind of training idea. So apologies for that. Next time I cycle in, hopefully I'll be a little smoother. All right.
It's all good.
So Caitlin Deaver, actress.
Okay, I took a leap of faith with her, but I said Nizai.
I said Vijay.
I said Nizai.
I said Naiji.
I said nice. Oh, sorry.
No problem. I said Nijai.
I said Naizi.
I said Naiji.
I did a complete stab in the dark because I couldn't make it match up and fit the puzzle pieces of the Sudoku, and I said Zaini.
Interesting. She was a little tough. We'll definitely have to do her. She is Nizai.
Oh, wow.
All right. This next one is one that the team was strong on in general, which is Breely Evans.
I said Shivai.
Jivai.
G-Vibe.
G9.
Jivai.
G9.
Did everyone go?
Jivi, I don't know. I thought Gabe. Did Gabe go?
I said G9.
And I said Jivi.
She is Jivai. Cool, so a literal. All right, and the last one is Ali Golino.
I said Vijay on her.
I said Nizai.
I said Vijay.
I said Vijay.
I said Zaini.
I said Vijay.
With Naiji.
I said Nijai.
All right, she is a Vijay. All right, so we have a few to go over there. So, first of all, any thoughts about the quiz, having seen your answers now, before we start going over the samples?
I just mixed up those Durhams.
I'm glad my theories paid off. Yes.
Can we give a rundown of what they are again?
Sure. Morel Enos is an IG. Emily Chang is Jinai. Valerie Curry, Nijai. Caitlin Deaver, Nizai. Breely Evans, Jivai. And Ali Gonino is a Vijay.
Yeah, that one was actually, I felt kind of interesting because I was allowed to use a lot more deductive reasoning than I'm allowed to in any other kind of quiz. And a lot of these kind of flipped at the same time, like kind of solving a Rubik's Cube, where, what's her name? Emily Chong. This, like, in several phases, Chang. In several phases, like when I kind of started off, I had specific mojos that I was leaning on, but I was also shotgun blasting. Like, for her, for some reason, the first time, I was leaning Zinai, but then I acknowledged she kind of reminds me of Ming Na Wen, too, so maybe Zinai. And, you know, a lot of the others. And the first time through, Breely Evans actually had down as Zinai, but that bothered me. And when I went back to her and then flipped her to Zinai, and I'm like, okay, now that opens up Emily Chang for the possibility of Zinai. So then I went back to looking at her. Then all of a sudden now I feel good with Jinai. So, yeah, I was able to kind of use just a lot of power of deduction, which I probably did better with this way than I would have had it wasn't.
We had to guess more?
Had it didn't have the hint.
Good. I'm very curious on that, Demas, did you feel that as a part of that it required you to look at the samples again or more, have to turn them over more than you did in previous weeks?
Yeah, it also kind of gives you something to aim for as well, if that makes sense. You know, instead of just like, sometimes you feel a sample's wrong, but it's like, I don't know what to cross-contextualize it with. I know there's a perspective that I got to look at it, but I don't know what the right perspective is. And sometimes it can be easy to just give up after that, or to focus on.
Yeah, that's definitely something they're trying to address and to
or help. Yeah, either giving up or kind of just allocating your resources toward another sample that you feel like is lower hanging fruit. So yeah,
No, that's great. No, that's great input. No, thank you very much. Anybody else?
I probably would have got Caitlin Denver right if I hadn't have had to try to find another one that I hadn't already used.
So it adds a reason to turn the sample over more and work with it more, but also adds a difficulty modifier and can make you question yourself on a read you might have gotten right otherwise. So it's good to know. It's got some pros and cons to it.
Because the only reason I flipped it to Xi Ni is because I'd already used Ni Xi, and I was seeing the Ni and the Xi absolutely.
Gotcha. It's good to know. So, but I do think it makes like an interesting obstacle course to kind of throw it from time to time, because it's another way for that lens muscle to get a workout. But yeah, we'll do what we've been doing seems to be like the standard quiz, and then we'll do some variations as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. And see what you guys think, and we can add things, rotations, or change things as I try out new experiments. So, in the beginning, we weren't actually doing theme stuff like this now. We were just kind of doing whatever came up alphabetically, but it seems like themes are better, and that actually came from experimenting with that. So we'll keep trying new experiments and see what sticks. All right, thank you guys for all
experiments.
Yep.
Love the experiments.
So let's see, what would be a good one or two to go over? I got definitely Caitlin Deaver seemed like that threw a lot of people. And was there another one? Was it Emily Chang who was also challenging?
Well, the only reason I did Ni Xi was because I flipped it from Ni Xi, but I was thinking maybe Ali Gonino, because it's another Re and Ni one.
I like Emily Chang, Kat Beaver. Yeah, those two.
Those two. Anybody else? Does anyone else have a preference on ones you'd like to go over? I'd like to kind of get a consensus of two good ones.
What about Brelly Evans? Does anyone? I feel like a lot of people got it right.
She was really strong. A lot of people got her right.
I would love to see Morelli.
Tough for me.
Yeah, I didn't have any trouble. That was a nice G I knew.
A lot more people got her right. We all guessed like G alpha, but I feel like the difference between Nai and Vi on her was very difficult.
Yeah. Brelly Evans, the differentiating between G9 and G5 is.
It's something we're not quite as used to.
Okay, let's do that then. That sounds great. Let's do Caitlin Deaver because so many people got it wrong, and then we'll do Briley Evans because it's kind of an unusual one. Okay, sounds fun. And Jarlene, can you bring up the video? Sure.
You said Caitlin Deaver was one of them that we were going to look at?
I think Jilene was the only one that got it correct, right?
Who's this? Caitlin Deaver? Yes, Jilene, and then Starglow also said that she was actually inclined to say Nizai, but they hit through her off. I think most other people got that one wrong.
The only reason I flipped it to Xi Ni was because I already had a Ni Xi, and I knew that I was seeing Ni and Xi.
I would have considered Ni Xi for more if I hadn't already guessed Ni Xi and Gallery 3.
Well, it's the only way I could make that. I knew I was seeing Ni and Xi, and and for whatever reason I didn't get the right Ni Xi. So I had to do whatever, I had to just flip it to Xi. Maybe
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. Well, why don't you go ahead, Jarlene, take lead, and then Starglow, you can also jump in and add some stuff. That's anyone else who gets a good idea going.
Okay.
Sorry, I lagged out.
No, I feel regret just because I was watching her like one of the other times I was going by and thinking.
I guess one of the things that jumped out for me in this particular interview, because I watched this one and some few others, but right away is like she's very comfortable with pitching herself, and she's doing big expressions like right off the bat when she greets the interviewer. And it's very effusive, and the mouth is really open, and she's doing a big smile, but it's not going into her cheeks, and that jumped out at me right away. Also, another thing that I was actually at first considering maybe, I don't know why, but like in the way my math worked out, it would either be a Vijay or a Nizai, but you know, at first, one, I wasn't seeing the cheeks move, and then also she's very quick.
Real quick on that, Jarlene, yes, that was a theme of the misses in this quiz, was there were some flops that came up more than once, and actually, I think the most prevalent one was people flopping Caitlin Deaver for Ali Gonino. Vijay for the Nizai.
I can see that, because she has like sort of a sweet version of her G, like as a, or you know, like a Disney sort of version of her use of her G. That can seem like very like saccharine, very sweet, and so it could lead you to think shy. And I was actually between those two until like I really, one thing that was hitting me was one, the cheeks weren't moving even when she was doing big expressions, and also she was very quick with the connections, making connections to different thoughts and ideas. And she's quick at scrambling like ideas and jumping to other ideas. Whereas Ali, she actually always gave very literal, on point sort of answers.
This is gold. Is it possible we have the video playing while you're talking and have it on the volume?
Sure.
That's well.
Could I get the link?
Could I get it too? I suppose we both get it.
Yeah.
The other thing, yeah, and I noticed that
I needed
when
this too,
that
because
where it was freeze framed when Jolene was talking was the smile. She does that typical thing with the Nizai where they smile down and drop their jaw. So that like, I that's so typically Zai and G, you know.
Yeah. I don't know where I went with her, because I kept thinking, I saw the cheeks, they weren't moving, but I thought Nizi, so I went the other route. But
we were seeing the Zez, but yeah, both the G and the Jai on Lodge Faith Mojos, they go more down and sideways than up.
I actually didn't see that she had the sheer cheeks. I went with Naiji. I could tell she was clearly Nez Alpha, but I couldn't distinguish how the G was actually going up correctly.
This bit is a knee thing. I do it all the time.
Yeah. Also, her gesturing is
but this is
guys.
different.
And this, when she's bobbling along with to staccato her speech, that's a typically Ni and Zai thing to me with the G, because the G is a power that I don't have, and so when the bobble goes with the speech for emphasis, that tells me
that it's a Nizai.
that it's a G with Ni.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right, one of the ad serves.
Yeah, exactly.
It pops up to me so much more. Like I mean, I considered Nizai, but it's so annoying because like you feel like you should have it was on your mind, you just didn't consider it enough or think about enough.
Yeah. I know in the beginning when I was first looking at her, I thought Nizai at first, but then I kind of dismissed it very, very quickly and just kind of like I went with my own kind of thoughts in some other direction. And, yeah, and then it just kind of like, where did I...
She also does this thing which, I like I say, I would have gone with Nizai. It just didn't match the Sudoku. But Nizai they use their knee to shunt power to their Ji. So when they're Jiing, they use their eyebrow lifts a lot more often than Nijai do. Nijai, we don't mess with our eyebrows much. We just go total Z. but they use their eyebrows to G. They use their eyebrow knee perk to G.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely like something
All
with
G
the
mojos,
eyebrows,
G users do that.
and articular.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they're shunning power to their modulation G.
Yeah, you also see right now, she saw some bobble shimmy in her movement. I'll play it back just a little bit. But.
Not shimmy, but I mean she's doing bobble undulating.
Yeah, that, I was a
Yeah.
little confused there.
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's
That's what
fine.
I meant.
And that little dance move that she did is not something that Nijai do that well. Like we don't have the Zai to go along with that, so it doesn't.
Oh, actually, Nijai, a lot are extremely good dancers. Some of the best dancers out there, Nijai. Males and females.
It's not
I think she
the
was talking about something
dancing.
else.
There's a particular pop to it that goes along, in my experience with the Zai, that doesn't go along with the Zai.
I think actually, yeah, it's not actually the Zai, it's the G. I know you're talking about is she's using her body pops to actually talk in a warm way.
Like a swaggering sort of.
The way that all G users they toss their head and flip their eyebrows and do other things that kind of sell it. She was doing that with her body.
Yeah.
She was doing like she's selling it.
Yeah, so even with the dance moves, they sell it. Yeah, and that's not the way Jai users. Nijai don't dance that way.
No, they don't. But they're amazing in the way they do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying they don't dance, because we do have amazing dancers and gymnasts and all of that. It's just there's a I don't know, a particular pop that I associate with.
There's more of a vulnerability and a sexiness in that way with the Jai mojos as opposed to kind of like the selling it quality that the G mojos have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the G is aware, the Jai is kind of more internal, personal, kind of like I need to express myself kind of thing.
Yeah. But it can have a great wildness to it that's really awesome and a lot of things particularly dance.
When I see a Jai dancer, it has this they're lost in the music sort of quality.
Yeah.
Their motions are totally entranced by the music, whereas a G dancer does that in a pop, selling it. I don't know, like Coach said, they're aware of how they're moving everybody else, whereas the Jai dancers, the way
they're being lulled. They're kind
The
of
G
being
is doing-
swayed by the music. They're being G'd. They're kind of like being moved by the music and being
yes.
by it. Whereas the G users, they're gonna be kind of like
spell.
But,
they're noticing the spell.
Nijai,
Kind of like,
Nijai also have a very knowing way of, and other Jai dancers, but Nijai come to mind as far as like being able to entice, being aware of the effect their movements have on those around them, and being able to use their movements.
It's actually the
great
vulnerability and how that kind of calls to people. You can be sort of like aware of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, we talked before, and comedians also. All the Jai comedians, they often use their Jai in that kind of knowing, playful way.
And it's this thing like we're Jaiing it, and we know that that as a byproduct of our Jaiing, we're going to affect other people. But we can't go with the, like, if we start think in terms of moving other people, it doesn't work the same way. We can't put, it's like putting the cart before the horse. So if we start to move in that way, we get more awkward. Whereas if we're lost in it, we know that this is going to move everybody, but we have to be lost in it in order to move everybody.
Yep, that's pretty much. That's exactly it. So does anyone have anything before we move on? Do you want to see another video of her, or do you want to try?
You know, she reminded me a little of one of the Nijai from, I think it was last week, which was not Ari Greener, the other one.
Shailene Davis, could you mute when you're not talking?
Spray Graydon. Did anyone else get that at all?
You said one of the Nijai. She reminds you of one of the
That's
Nijai.
Sprague Graydon. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Sorry.
Oh, you could be right. I could be wrong.
I have no idea. So
Neither do I.
it's anyone's guess. But anyway, that's how I actually got the read, is that I riffed her a little bit, like just some of the expressions she made and stuff.
That's a good one. Can you did you ever get that? So they would take a look in their Google Images or whatever. They pick
Yeah,
up.
that's exactly what I did. Like I was creating the images, and I look at their expressions, and I could like match, if I can match up two, just like look exactly alike. I'm like, they're probably the same mojo.
Yep, that's.
It doesn't always work. Sometimes
But it's very powerful tool.
It's powerful, but I have made the mistake before. Sometimes I'll miss the inverse because they can look very similar. That actually happened.
That's true.
I thought Marielle Enos, I guess G9 her, and I compared her to a G9, and they had a very similar expression in one picture, but it was close, but not.
Yeah. But it's definitely overall, it really, I think, it brings you closer than you would otherwise. But yeah, at the very end, when it comes to like the fine distinctions, it can sometimes be a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
That brings up the piece that I was saying, that when I get away from collaging for too long, my mojo ability reading on video goes down too, because I'm not keeping those patterns in.
Agreed. That's why I'm glad to bring back the collaging, quizzing stuff, the little sections of it each time we start the online session. I think it really helps. Okay, are we good on her? Do we want to try the video with her or go to Ridley Evans?
Yeah,
we should probably move on so we have time for live reads.
Yeah, we should move on.
Yep, I'm ready to move on.
Now, I think several people did get Ridley Evans right, so I'll go ahead and let this people take lead, and I'll jump in if it comes to me.
Didn't everybody get really right?
I think a few people guessed G9. I can understand.
Yeah, I saw G Alpha.
Yeah, that's very close.
We all guessed G Alpha, so
that's very close.
Like even the wrong answers were very close. But I just have a lot of trouble distinguishing G9 with G-Vi.
Cool. So sure, a few people can chime in and tell you.
I actually didn't even think about that. I was only.
Because I actually really considered like G-Vi. Just
Are you loading it, Charlie?
I'm loading it up.
That's something I noticed with the G-Vi.
Yeah, just trying to find some good ones. Here we go.
Sometimes I have kind of like a temptation to almost think they're a Nemojo, especially the ones that are in comedy.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Some of them, like we misread them as like knees eye a lot or shiny.
Yeah,
That's
for
what a
sure.
lot of them were before, and a lot of them have very good knee development.
Yeah, I was thinking Nizai at one point too with her, but
Like the comedians, but yeah.
That's Vi.
I did think it was the G-Vi.
Did y'all see that?
And the dead eyes.
the dead eyes.
Do we have a better word for that? But
I know,
at this point,
it's just. It's like a very sort of like.
It's not the best, I know.
Well,
Yeah, we gotta find a better word.
I want to say that, but I
I'm
almost
sure
don't.
they don't look dead to somebody who's not a nice.
Well, I'll tell you
Right.
what. It could be like
Yeah, that's
It
true.
could be like a dead eye, as in like Vi. Like a dead eye. Like a
Shy
sniper.
V,
No.
you probably
Listen.
disagree
Listen.
with that statement.
Like a sniper. You know, like a dead eye, like precise.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
And I do agree in that context, but I think it unfortunately has another context now, so we need another word. Grr.
It's very much like something that's like really like solid. Like you mentioned this, Coach. It was like really I really liked it. Like an engine block or something that's like.
Yeah, it has like the drone. That drone of like a consistent, strong engine that's like
exactly.
totally.
It's like the purring of like a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like it's like that kind of quality, and that kind of makes it sound really cool and
Agreed.
inspiring in a way.
Agreed.
Or like a scope, like they're so scoped in on people it's.
Oh, I like that. Scoped in. That's good.
I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like with some of the G vibes I've seen, they kind of look like the way they're the way their eyes are sometimes like slanted. They kind of look like hawk eyes in a way. I don't know with the Vi.
What kind of eyes?
Like they kind of look like the eyes of a hawk almost.
Yeah, I like that.
I see that.
I agree. And I know what he's saying though. Is that they have kind of like a hunter quality, because all the directives have a hunter quality in their eye to some degree because it's a hunter power. The perception power for directives is a hunter quadrant power, and they do have kind of like a bird-like quality. So it's like a visceral animal, but it is very, very focused.
Yeah.
Like eagle eye, like
I was
eagle eye, hawk eye.
Yeah, like it's like
sometimes that bigger face like this, the objectives, they kind of look like they have owl eyes.
They definitely have I know that eagles, when they fly up in the sky, they have like so much better vision than humans do, and they're able to see every little detail. So they have like this resolution quality to them.
Yeah.
It's like so much beyond.
That's what I was thinking with
the
it
tiny mouse running across the field from like 200
and then
feet
they just
up.
like swoop down and get that like rabbit or something.
And,
It's like
and that's that vibe.
Very spot on. I like the word spot on too. When they look at stuff, they look like they're looking at it spot on. It's like that accentuated rhythm of their, literal evaluation.
Right.
Yeah, it's different than V. It's different than V though. It's more prepared.
No. It is. It's a directive appraisal. It is an appraisal. It's a directive.
It's like a magnifying glass almost.
Yeah.
Like they're looking at, like an eagle can see the tiny, tiny mouse on a field. It's a magnifying glass. They magnify and expand and see it exactly.
Resolution is just the best word to use, I think.
Yeah. Another thing. Resolution is good, except for it's not actually an adjective. It's a noun, and it also happens to be the apex ritual for Daryu. So you may have to choose something else.
Oh, okay. If you think of it that way.
But I think you could maybe the word would be resolved. Then that would make it an adjective, right?
Resolved. Yeah, that I like that because it's kind of like it's known now. Like.
Right.
Yeah, that actually makes me think about Vi too, because like when I think about like a resolution, I think about something that's like that's written down, that's specific.
Yeah. Because also, I think
The
like
resolved stare of the Vi.
I also think of like a laser, kind of like on burning on like a hard drive or like a hard disk or something, and it's just like burned, and it's like kind of like
there's the burning
seared.
from the laser, but
I think it's
there's
very
the
much
already seared.
spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go back to sample real quick here, though. Two things that helped me to see Jibai, not Jinai, is in the eyes, going more of what you were saying about the Vi. I actually sometimes use, quite often actually, Ni.
Totally.
The Jibai, I can see Ni in her eyes. That tells me it's not the Jinai. The Jinai and Ni's eye, they do that. They have clear-eyed look.
Oh yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking too. Is like.
Oh, and one last thing before I'll go on. You guys go on. Is that the voice? If it's usable, I do use the voice a lot to distinguish between, say, Nai-ji and Bai-ji, Ji-bai and Ji-nai, so on and so forth. It's quite actually helpful because they'll have that different sound to it, with drone sound, gravitas.
Yeah, that earthy vibe.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I also use the voice a lot for this, because with her, I was between like Jinai and Jibai, so I had to take a moment to kind of cross-contextualize with more Jibai, and then once I did that, then like I know they have a distinct voice, but I have to like look at others and cross-contextualize to get what that sounds like. The kind of raspy drone that like some of the Jibai have it more accentuated than others, but
there's this bionic roar.
Yeah.
With the raspiness of the
It's kind of brassy too, like a trumpety kind of drone.
But yeah, it's cool because you have like the percussive G on top, right? But then you have the drone. So I don't know. You can also distinguish that.
They sound like smokers even if they've never smoked.
Wow. Yeah, kind of.
Well, that's. I mean, artistically, you could probably use that.
But I mean,
I think it's one of the things that's a kind of a descriptive way of saying it that may be good for one person to kind of label it that way.
Yeah, that probably doesn't cross over. Yeah.
But I kind of get what you're getting at. But I think there's different kind of descriptors there. Are we good on her? Do we want to see a little more? Are we ready for a live read?
Just a question, Coach.
Sure.
How do you distinguish between the way that the Nai has like a weariness to it, whereas the Vi it has like a different kind of quality to it. It looks kind of weary, but it looks kind of different a little bit. I was just wondering.
It does, but one thing is something that has been going on for a while is that in the use of talking about Nai, there's two words that are similar but different. They both have to be applicable. One is weary, W-E-A-R-Y, and the other is wary, W-A-R.
Yeah.
Okay, so they both apply. So often when I'm talking about Nai eyes, what I'm talking about is wariness, no E. And that means that you have a suspiciousness towards the world. Weary means you have more like that heaviness, a bit of exhaustion to you, like you're light weary.
And,
like a haggard.
and I don't
can both
see
associate
that
them with
Which Nye can have for sure.
I don't
So I
think
think
Vi has that wariness that.
no, great. So that's a
Yeah.
similarity and difference. The Vi and Nai both have a weariness. That's the gravitas and heaviness of hunters. So they both share that. But the wariness, that suspicion, that's Nai abductive reasoning that makes that suspiciousness. That with Vi, they have more what I would call like a worried kind of quality to them.
Like they'll
Not
forget
worried,
something.
Worried.
You don't want to forget.
They seem worried.
And
know
they're
if I
not
see that.
often suspicious because they take things at face value. It's like they see it, that's the way it is, and that's the only thing that exists because they don't have the rest that
Right,
second
and also-
conversation.
Yes, but in the way that they do have, they are strong. They're worried that the details they know are somehow going to be slipped through their fingers, or other people are going to have them slip through their fingers. So they're worried about the known being dropped.
Yeah.
The Naiji, it's different. The wariness is actually on yourself. It's part of self-possession, which is, what have I missed? What am I not seeing? What is it about this person I don't know but should know? And so even the person's actually being totally forthcoming, Naiji are always wary in that way because they're wary about themselves. They're like, what don't I see? And that what don't I see just makes them suspicious, starting with their own lens. What isn't my lens seeing? Besides people lying to me and stuff and hiding stuff, I'm suspicious of my own equipment.
Yeah.
So suspicion of your own equipment, as opposed to Vi, worry that your equipment or other people's equipment has become faulty or has somehow, lost consistency of.
Right.
Yeah,
Lost
I
dependable.
recognize that as a polar Vi user that I'm not remembering the detail right. Yeah.
Maybe we could do a collage on the G9 and G-Vi at some point too.
Yeah, we definitely do a bunch of
That'd be
different
very
cross-sections.
It's weird to think about what it would be like to have Vi as like a momentum power. I can like as a Naiji, it just feels so weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's alien.
I actually get a taste of that
Yeah.
sometimes. I do different feats, particularly with Phrenexy when I go hardcore, like Fanatic style, I want to break the world record, and I go down to the Z and Vi. I want to break a certain kind of score, and I have to use some ridiculous Vi to do it. I've noticed that there is, for example, doing the Bardic feats, there's a real investing in stuff once you've memorized it, and I get a little taste of what it must be like to actually have that.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. I actually see that now. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just forget like how it feels like, but you know because you've experienced
Yeah,
it.
you've experienced an intense Vi.
I've had a little taste of it, because normally it's the Nai. I have my visions. If my visions feel strong, I feel strong. But and the visions are very like bonded to me, and I feel an intense like loyalty to them.
Yeah, because
But the Vi has its way of doing that too, and it's through that kind of repetition you like tattoo it on your soul and your bones, and you feel like it's wrong to step away from it.
Because as an IG, it can be really nice to be on point. I mean, we've all experienced this. Like, it would be really nice if I could just like say this exactly how I should be saying this, But,
Sure. Actually, both the Nets Towers, by the way, routinely wow me with their offside Vi. I'm like, man, that thing's badass.
When, like, in my job, I have to use a lot of Vi. I have to keep a lot of numbers in my head. And when I know something, no one can tell me I don't know it. And I will find it, and I will give it to you, and I will show it to you. Because I know it. It's there.
There's an attachment to it.
Yes, it's imprinted.
Nobody
tattooed.
can shake you up on that. Like, you got it. Like,
If it's something I know, I know it, and don't argue with me because there's no point in that.
So you can see it's different than 9 that way, but it shares that sureness. It's like when it has it, it's like I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
Although
we
now
should
there's
see
like
if we can get into a live read. Does anyone have any suggestions?
Oh, I wanted to share one.
okay, go ahead, man.
Oh man, I just gotta pull out something.
I know some people sent things in different times. Did I get everyone's? I read them all, but I don't know if they were made public. Is there any of the read requests that you put into me that you don't know the answers are?
Read requests you don't know the answers to? I haven't sent any in, so that.
Okay.
Wait, recently or ever?
Are
I think
we
ever.
are we staying
I probably have
on
tons.
the female the
Oh my
female
gosh.
We
theme?
could, hey, possibly, Ademus. In the show Workaholics, can you go to IMDb and find out the female boss they have? I don't think we've read her.
The boss?
I read her today when watching the show. The boss, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
I have this huge list of like over 500 samples that I've like not even read.
Yeah, I've got my Pinterest collage of all the ones that I'm still waiting on a read request on. Oh, and Coach, can I throw out that I'd love to have Scorpions as a theme show for one of the quizzes.
Okay, I thought I.
Okay, I have one.
Okay, cool, great. Okay, so Ademus, do you have anything yet? Okay, so what's the name that you have, Glenn? And who have we done of Scorpion? I know we've done some of them already.
Okay, mine is Courtney Draper.
What's she?
I only know of 2 actors on Scorpions that have been read.
Who's that? The main character has been.
The main character and the FBI agent is
right.
a Nizi.
Right. So there's the other ones. We can do any of them. Okay.
Well,
so
maybe if we could do that as a theme, as a quiz theme, like the whole show again, like we were doing some of the quizzes for the shows.
Okay, I can mix that in. I want to do a little more with the ladies, then I can do that.
Yeah, so I have an interview for her. We going ahead with that?
Yeah, sounds good. Then we can do the one that Glenn put up there next.
Okay, so she is Maribeth Monroe.
And I'm not going to be able to do any of the video stuff, so you guys know.
Link, which I just put in the chat. Cool. Yeah, we're doing Maribeth.
What's this person's name?
Meredith?
Yeah, Maribeth Monroe.
Maribeth Monroe.
Is she related to Marilyn?
That would be helpful.
She might be Nijai then.
Yeah. I'd have to use a different computer.
So many people think Marilyn Monroe is like a knee or a Vijay. Which is interesting. But anyways.
I can see that. There are a lot of Vijay, like starlet types, but...
Oh, did you say she was related to Marilyn Monroe?
No, I don't think that's actually true.
We don't know
Okay, I was just making sure.
It's like open and shut case, Johnson.
Hey, one thing that I think I'm noticing is she has a very large smile, but I don't know that I'm seeing emotiveness up the cheeks yet.
I'm thinking it's localized below the midline. I'm thinking it's logic based.
She looks a bit long to me.
Long?
Yeah.
Long lines?
Like long face and stuff.
She's got some long lines, I think.
Like frame wise, long frame.
Oh, okay.
Maribeth Monroe. Monroe. Just spelled differently. So what show is this woman in?
Workaholics.
Workaholics. Okay, thank you. I think this is either the right one then.
Sounds like it would be kind of a bit of a interesting show.
I directed.
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy. Is it like Seinfeld or something?
It's kind of like
The Office, but
Or The League, yeah.
X-rated. There you go.
Oh, The Office.
The Office, but X-rated. Like an actress, writer, and comedian. Very interesting.
Actress, writer, and comedian.
Regional comedy.
What's y'all's feel on directive adaptive?
I'm interested in that
Do we have a
too.
leaning on that? She's leaning to the right an awful lot.
Sorry.
I don't think I have a leaning yet for adaptive directive because I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of evaluating her limbs and how much she engages and disengages off of the interview. I'm not quite sure yet.
I definitely think that she has knee, not nigh.
What makes you say that? It's possible. I'll look at her video. On.
Okay. You want to pull another interview up? I don't know. After this one, I'm still leaning towards either Nizi or Nizai. I'm not sure which. I kind of see it's interesting because her mouth riffs me of Marion Cotillard, and I don't know if it's. I don't see the emotiveness above the cheeks, but I'm wondering if it's like a dry mouth and a Nizi. But I've never really seen that kind of mouth in a Nizi, so I'm kind of.
All I got is cerebral so far. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. I don't know what to make. I mean,
yeah,
watching quick. That's kind of thing that stands out to me. Quick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on the quickness.
I
I've been
know
playing
she's
with quite a few
logic.
mojos.
I don't know what else though yet.
Yeah.
Although I kind of agree with Mitchell that she's very quick.
But I don't necessarily know what that means.
Did I just put it in?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that means either yet.
I think it can either mean like gatherer or it can mean like directive.
Monologue.
Right? I think that those
like percussive monologuing.
Monologuing, percussive, exactly.
Or manic.
It's interesting that quickness can be, it can be done in different ways by different mojos.
Percussive's not the same as quick.
And now that I'm thinking on it, I'm not sure that I think she's got articulation on her momentum side. So I'm feeling like she's probably an adaptive for that reason.
I'm not
Most
sure.
most female comedians tend to be. What are the statistics on them?
Well, there's some Nizi.
I mean, if you're gonna find Nizi females anywhere,
So.
Yeah, there aren't that many Nizi females in general.
Oh no! That's what I was gonna say. Is if you were going to find Nizi females anywhere,
they're in comedy.
Would be the first place to come up.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
In like science or something.
Yeah, I think there are more Nizi female comedians than Nizai, perhaps. But
that may be true.
But
I'm not sure.
But not exclusive because there are a lot of Nizai in comedic roles. So
definitely,
like Amy Poehler, you think about that and all the other ones. So it definitely does happen.
Does her articulation seem cool? It seems to me like.
I'm not sure yet. Yeah.
It seems to me like she's got.
Are you guys playing a second video? I don't see a second video.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were done discussing.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. No, please keep going.
We can load up the second video though.
Okay.
So what are you guys noticing with the second video?
I think she.
It's alright. I'm not actually able to watch anything right now because I'll drop out of the call, but looking at pictures and
What can someone? Do you have the link?
I do have the link, but I can't watch the videos. Now I'm dropping out of the call.
Why not?
Really no.
Pretty funny.
He's probably doesn't have enough bandwidth for both video and the call.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, there's a cue. It really doesn't seem to me like her expressioning is going up her face much.
No, I'm definitely.
I'm just to confirm that. It did seem to already be kind of well going in that direction.
It seems to be
Doesn't really.
I think I'm eliminating pilots too.
To me,
Pilot-
she's
Yeah,
seeming
I think she seems like a Xenai to me.
No, I never.
To me, she's
The
seeming
only
kind
pilot
of
interpreter she could be.
What's that, Johnny?
No.
To me, she's seeming a little percussive.
Percussive?
So,
Yeah.
so I'm
Not-
eliminating
I'm leaning-
pilots, but I'm still working on Nizi or Nizai or
Yeah. Either of the Zez.
yeah, I'm leaning in the Nizez direction.
Yeah, I'm Nazaz leaning towards Nizi.
Yeah, I think I'm still leaning toward 9Z too.
She does seem to have
Krista Miller, would that be a fourth gear that resonates with resonates with?
Yeah, actually, the pictures seem more obvious to me. I should be seeing it more in the pictures.
Let's look at pictures. Let's look her up.
She has some eye game. For sure. Looks kind of thing in a way. She does have strong emoting.
Yeah, eye game can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's
She has good strong emoting.
like the
but
fact
I
that
don't know if it goes.
I mean, it is there. It's just.
I don't know. Her eyes kind of seem like they're piercing through me, as opposed to dancing.
Yeah.
And I may be wrong, but that's how it kind of.
Right. I know. I don't disagree. I just think that like,
Yeah, it's
they
okay.
can just sometimes be tricky. That's all.
Yeah, I know. She does kind of like cock her head in an interesting kind of way too, sort of like.
The videos I watch, she's on the left a lot.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah, that's good for you to notice.
I wasn't really paying attention to that, but she actually is.
Just slightly to the left.
Kind of a joke.
Her head tilt,
Slight tilt.
the whole body actually. Mine.
And she kind of has like this kind of like eyebrow raising kind of like looks to it.
it's like a perma left tilt. It stays there.
Which one? See, like the kind of longness I see in her, like would almost make me want to like even look at like Jaini, but I think I see a lot of rigidity.
Yeah.
rigidity.
She has
That's
a lot more
what- yeah, that's-
tenseness
yeah,
in
exactly,
her body
that's-
than
yeah.
More tension.
But what I'm saying is like the longness, yeah.
tensioning than a Jaini.
You don't think maybe she's like a Nizai that's using
That's where I was going.
her G in an interesting way to kind of
That's
come
what I was saying
across?
Yeah.
It seems less like.
I don't see Nijai at all because she's got
No, I don't.
No, that's.
I agree.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it's value
Just the whole,
based.
just on a
more-
third gear up level, I not really think I'm just
Yeah,
getting the signal as an IG.
I'm not getting.
Oh, I don't
the
see it.
eye.
I don't see the emotiveness going up into her cheeks.
In the eyes at all. Like,
It's the knee high is not coming up, and she's quick with her knee, or something. She's quick with something.
Yeah. Well, do we want to watch one more interview?
How do you guys feel about that?
no, I think that sounds good.
Okay.
Kind of solidify ourselves.
Hold on, I feel like I want to play with Naiji a little bit.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, because I think her
Naiji
emoting
never
seems
has eyes.
suspicious.
I mean,
I do kind of feel like she's a Nai Alpha. But I
Oh,
mean,
I'm not getting.
I actually played with that a
eyes.
little bit on the first video, but then I kind of went over to.
I'm kind of like reminded of that one guy that we had for Game of Thrones, that one bad guy. He kind of had an interesting game, right? You play that one bad guy.
I don't know. I'm not getting the Naiji vibe. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I am not getting the Naiji vibe at all in the least.
I kind of feel like I'm seeing something with the emoting with her. Maybe it's just shy, but I think it's good to like play around with that idea for just a bit.
Kind of weird. Designy. Interesting.
One thing that I think I'm seeing here in this interview that I've seen in the other ones is her smile seems to be going sideways, not upwards.
And to drop, it drops. She drops her jaw to go with big smile. So totally logic based.
What about like slinkiness? Are we seeing that?
Slinkiness versus like a bobbliness.
Yes.
I think slinky kind of wins out. What do you think?
I think I'm not seeing necessarily slinkiness, but I'm seeing tension in her body, which
Yeah.
I guess could be like a
Or poise?
a lot of poise or vibe, but would be more natural for a directive. That poise and yeah, which is
That's
sort of
interesting. She's kind of
maybe
like
her posture.
What was that, Ben?
she's kind of like holding onto her knee and like sitting really up, straight. I don't know. Interesting.
And her whole body sways, which is not typical for me.
Do we feel good on like maybe calling it? You think?
Yeah, then we spend some time revisiting.
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
I'm feeling pretty good with Nizai. I mean, I'm sorry, Nai-Z.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Nizy, so
Yeah, I'd say
I'll
Nizy
go
too.
with that.
I'd say
What do you
nice as
guys-
well.
Nice.
Anyone
Nice.
anyone disagree? Have a different one? No. Okay, so team consensus is
Did we
Nizy.
get it right, Coach?
Yep, she is Nizy. Yay!
Hey!
So now you can join some of the other stuff because this guy here, I believe he's been red. He is Nizai.
Says.
Yeah.
It's actually got an interesting rhythm there.
Cool.
And several people on Workaholics are also Nizai males.
Oh, that's sweet. Cool. You got yeah. Awesome.
Oh, directed female, adaptive males.
Yep.
Good.
Do you want to see her in one of the earlier videos now that you know this? I think one of the earlier ones was more close up. And we can do a bonus if you got anyone wants to take a shot at the interviewer. I've read both the interviewers, so if anyone wants to do that, I can.
Oh, it's funny. I actually started to read her a little bit. I didn't spend too much time, but
I feel like we should maybe move on to the next sample. I really want to do the next one.
Oh, all right.
I was going to guess Nick guy on this interviewer.
Well, come back later, but do we have time to do another one? That's what I was wondering. Do we have time to do another one?
We have like, I don't know. It depends. Do we want to go like? If we want to go later, we could always.
Are you guys up for another one?
I feel.
I'm up for another one.
All right, let's go ahead. Courtney Draper.
Unless someone has to leave at 10:30.
So Courtney.
So it's up to you guys, but I'm up for doing another read. Go ahead if you want.
Yeah, Demas is looking for an interview right now.
Something better.
Maybe if you click on this, you'll have that. You'll have more.
So what does Courtney Draper play in?
She's actually a voice actor.
You're taking off, Demas?
No.
No. Can you hear us? We're still here.
Yeah, is it muted?
Yeah.
No.
Coach, so are you going to share with us what Ellen Etten is?
No, not since we didn't get to watch through with her. We're moving on to Courtney Draper. So we'll do another time.
You're going to save it for a quiz, aren't you?
Save it up, yep.
Yeah, save it up. That's good. That's cool.
Okay, Courtney Draper.
Can we fast forward to something? Who are we doing? Is this the person?
It's the woman, the brunette.
In blue?
I can't see the video.
No, can you
I don't know.
pause?
It advertised a. There we go. I think this is her.
That's her?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. Why are we not?
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry, what's her name again?
Court, and then N-E-E, and then Draper.
Courtney? Courtney Draper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's her? It doesn't look the same as the pictures.
There's two E's at the end, not a Y.
It's an American actress. So, Hudson.
Okay, so yeah, this doesn't look like
Yeah, the pictures look completely
Courtney
different.
Draper.
Yeah, no. All right, so
I think we're not finding interviews for her.
at least not
Yeah,
what feels like usable
nothing,
ones.
With her face.
Okay, then try putting Bioshock at the end.
What is that? Let's try something different then.
Yeah, it seems like this doesn't have a lot of media.
No.
There's plenty of media. I checked last time.
What's that?
Can
I
you
checked.
pull up
She
an
had plenty
interview
of
for her?
media before.
If you can
Glenn?
find it for us,
Yeah.
Glenn. Oh, did Gabe need to go somewhere?
I don't
That's
know.
weird. Like the interview footage looks like she has blonde hair, but in the picture she's brunette. Did she just like dye her hair, or
Does
I think
anyone
it's
know?
someone else.
She may have
Does anyone know what
dyed her hair.
happened? Does anyone know what happened to Neo Megas?
maybe that's why?
No, he might have
He
just
may have
dropped
just
out.
dropped out or something.
That happens a
Yeah,
lot.
I mean, I put her name in it, and you can see in the.
It's kind of weird because she's also like she's
They're
a
all
voice
her.
actor for Bioshock Infinite, right?
She has blonde hair too. Yes,
I
there's
think
one
this
with
might
IGN.
be a
This might be-
different. This might be a different Courtney Draper. So yeah, if you can find something, Glenn, in the next couple minutes, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll have to find someone else.
No, I think they might be the same person because, like you said, she was a voice
It
actor.
seems
right?
like a bit confusing. Just this is not a good way to
It's
do
not-
motion reading. It's confusing, and Glenn, you don't have your computer up and running, so this is not an ideal time to do the sample since you're the one who wants it.
Okay, fair
We need
enough.
to have, you know what I mean? There's no reason to put this kind of pressure on a read.
I have the link. If you
Okay,
can-
go ahead then. Do you guys have the link now?
Are you
I'm seeing it right now.
Let's see, Courtney Draper.
sending it through the chat?
Yeah, I'm trying to send it to the chat. It's not working. We might need to abort this one.
Yeah,
then.
they're
Okay,
definitely
let's-
the same person. I just looked on Wikipedia. Like the video showed that she's a voice actor for Bioshock Infinite. The Wikipedia page, she's a voice actor for Bioshock Infinite, and it shows.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Yeah,
with blonde
voice
hair,
actor
she has brown
Elizabeth.
hair.
In Bioshock
I think she
Infinite.
just dyed her hair.
And there's a
Yeah,
video
exactly.
of her.
That is the case.
And she's older by quite a bit, yeah, than she was in some of the older films she did.
Okay, can we get a good video of this person then?
It was something like 10
Well,
years ago.
it looks like we got her on this video already.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead. But I want this one plus another one that's closer up.
Okay.
No one was going to come to listen to questions about myself, so. Nice, Elizabeth. It's so
I've read her, so she's good to go whenever people want to do it.
One thing that I'm noticing with her is that she's having a comfortability with monologuing right now. Whenever she answers, she goes off on a monologue. Very easy.
Yeah, and she's comfortable outside of her personal space as well.
And it appears to be G that she's using to articulate. But she does disengage from the interviewer. She's disengaging.
She seems subjective to me. And she seems...
Sorry. I was just going to say that I agree with that, and I kind of see a little bit of her expressions at times rip me on of that singer of Monsters and Men, with short blonde hair, and another Naishi actress that I don't recall her name.
Yeah, I started to say I'm leaning already in the direction of Naiji.
Yeah, me too. Her hands look long, but not fronzy or spidery. They look,
yeah, Jolene, and she's comfortable with moving her hands out from her body space when she does. She doesn't have this uncomfortableness about it that a lot of times Nijai will move theirs out of their body space, but they'll be uncomfortable about doing it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because as a Nijai, we can like faux directive pretty well sometimes. But I don't think she's fauxing it.
Yeah, I think so. It seemed like when she's actively listening to him, when he asks the question, she seems to have a warmness on her, and then as she's articulating, it seems like it's warm. And she does like cunning, knowing looks at him as she's answering, but she's disengaging a lot of the time.
Yeah, and she stays warm, so she stays that on-stage G thing to me.
Yeah.
And is the interviewer, is he Nijai?
He looks adaptive.
Yeah,
he
maybe.
might be Nijai. He looks a gatherer.
So like I'm thinking they're doing.
He could be. I mean, a lot.
They're doing a little bit of the Nijaz dance, maybe. That's the direction I'm leaning anyway. Not to like move anybody in the wrong direction.
But yeah.
All right, I'm going to step in here a little bit. Guys.
We haven't gone to a consensus or anything.
Okay, cool.
Are we in the wrong direction?
Oh, well, I was just going to say that the new interviewer is Nijai, if that helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that does help.
But I'm not saying anything about the actual sample, but I'll give you that as a little context.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
I knew it was a Nijai.
Well, I'm pretty confident that she's Nijaz.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting that from her.
I totally feel that way too.
I'm not even. I don't know. I'm looking at the pictures. Like the pictures, like I can more clearly see what you guys are talking about, like with the, with possibly.
But even notice during the interview how much she's disengaging from the him, like looking away and looking down. She does that.
But she does it like with that
Yeah, but I'm not sure
on-stage
that's
V
necessarily.
totally in his like
You're not-
she's. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll let Ben talk.
I don't
What
know.
were
I
you
mean,
saying?
like, she that is true though. I mean, she's like going like she isn't like directly looking at the interviewer a lot of the time.
Right.
Although that might be like it could also be me where it's just like kind of like scattered and she's trying to sort of make that out, but I don't know. But I see what
I'm
you're
not
saying too,
getting
though.
that. I'm not getting that at all.
Yeah, I'm getting piercing looks when she's looking at the.
I'm not actually getting that in their view.
She's
I am interested
okay.
in like maybe other people kind of giving their thoughts. I think Mitchell and Ben, or maybe Demas even. I think that would add a lot of
It's good to get a good back and forth on things.
That's true.
Like I don't disagree with you. I'm just trying to bring in
Yeah,
like
of course.
another possibility that's coming to mind.
I don't
I
know.
know
I
that a lot
just
of voice actors can sometimes even be genii, but I think that's mostly for the males. Females, I'm not sure exactly. She's also done film work too. So
she doesn't seem to have that perfect smile like I would think
yeah, I
for
can.
a Genie.
I think I can see that.
Is there a second video that we're gonna look at?
Yeah, I'm logging one in. Also, you know, I see a kind of rigidity in the hands, but I don't feel like it's full pilot.
No.
Not a pilot, yeah. Not
No.
a Genie.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Genie either. It was also hard for me to see. It's easier if I have a closer look at their face.
Agreed. That's why I definitely want a second video cross contextualized. I was having the same thing. I was able to get her, but that made it much more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Bioshock Infinite. Ugh.
There's a lot of poise, though, I think.
I'm just gonna head back to the video.
So I'm not seeing adaptive also because she uses her whole spine is rigid. So like she sways with the whole spine connected.
She's kind of doing a little bit of a hunter hunch, too, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
A huntress hunch.
I don't think I have any doubt at this point. And if I'm wrong, I'm just wrong, and it's going to be a quasi-death, but... Does anybody else want to call it at this point? Is anybody else?
I don't know.
Sure,
I want to look at some more footage.
If anyone else wants to spend a little bit more time, though.
I see more of what you're saying in this interview. I just want to make sure I've got it. Like I see more poise, like in the way she's saying, and also the smile looks.
And I did see her point with her finger too. So I mean.
And also the eye look, or sorry,
Corrective.
the eyes look a little more piercing as I get a closer look.
Well, I mean, Nijai will point too, but
It's interesting though. I mean, it seems to me like more
kind of
directors tend to do
the
it,
way it's
and
pointing.
it looks a certain way when it's done.
which is not to say I think she's Nijai, because I've already said what I think.
Yeah.
But Nijai do point. Especially when
I think every mojo points to some degree.
especially when we get right off on that righteous intervener, we'll go after. Like it's gone. So she does this thing like this and points at the same time. That's not a Nijai thing.
Wait, does what? And points at the same time?
She does this motion where it's like a point and a like I can't.
Kind of like her head moves back, and I don't know.
And
It's
it's
also very-
out there at the same. Yes.
Yeah, it's very far out of her personal space.
I see. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that does make sense.
Like this.
I see more intensity in her eyes in this one. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards Naiji now.
She's got a very elegant game though. I do have to say.
Yeah.
She's
That's
got
what threw me
really
off. Like,
good
other ones,
game.
it was kind of hard to see. It almost looked more like me and Jai, but at this one, it's a little more clear.
She's got good game.
Yeah.
And the voice actor thing too makes me think the G ability
those
too.
eyes right now. They look pretty intense.
Yeah, I think so. I was actually going with the G9 in the beginning, but now I think Naiji seems to make more sense.
I don't see Pilot at all.
Yeah, totally. I don't. There's definitely like a perception thing going on with their eyes. The eye is like above.
Yeah, and like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I definitely get the Naiji vibe off of her. Like that really cool, clever
Yeah, and it was weird because like, in the video it looked more like in the other video it almost looked more like Nijai. Maybe I looked at the pictures like where you actually could see her face. I don't know, it looked more Naiji. This one it looks more Naiji.
Well, I mean, Naiji women do that thing because they have to get really good at their game. They do play the adaptive as
especially female Naiji. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I think
they
shapeshift
shift into adaptive.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually become adaptive, but they
shift into an approximation of what they think an adaptive is.
Especially being like the yinnest of the directives. I mean, there's
right.
Totally.
So that is one way that female Naijis up their game, which is so cool to me. I mean, I just love it.
All right, guys, we're to consensus.
I feel like Naiji, personally, I'm not sure where everyone else is at.
Does anybody else have anything different than Naiji?
I'm leaning towards Naiji. My second guess would be Nijai, but I'm gonna say Naiji.
Not good with Naiji.
Naiji.
Shailene, you too, I say.
Yeah, I still stand by Naiji.
Shailene was on Naiji. Me and we were on Naiji a while
I
back.
think we're all Naiji. It looks like.
Take a moment to refresh yourselves for another swim in the waters. She is neither of the Nages.
Ah!
Naiji! Am I right?
Take a moment to refresh yourself and go again.
Oh.
Let's think a little bit about which powers we can confidently, because she probably I mean we can safely say she's interpretive though, right? I mean, like.
What
I think so.
Naiji?
That's interesting. Neither of the Nages. Okay, so
The next most likely would be Nazez, but.
What about Naiji?
Let's look at her. What do you think?
But yeah, we need to look at it again.
What about Shiny? We haven't really played around with that.
No,
Oh,
that's
we haven't.
true.
Yeah, we haven't. We didn't mention that.
Shiny,
We really haven't played much around with either of the Nez Towers.
We probably, yeah.
It could. I don't think Zynie so much, but I think Shiny deserves a shot, at least a little bit, and then Niz as well, maybe. I know there are some Niz that do voice acting. I know that there's quite a few, but females I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Okay, that was cool though. I like that.
Major quasi-death here.
This is a really tough situation. Because like those are like the only two we actually considered.
Yeah, she does have good emoting and values-based use.
Yeah, I'm still leaning on values-based.
Values-based.
I wonder.
Wow.
Do you guys have a guess? You fried.
Well, I'm gonna go off on a whim, and I'm going to guess Nizai. But that could easily be wrong.
I like that. I like that guess of yours. I think the G definitely. I think seems to be.
I'm saying the G for sure. I think. But
I think I like the G. I feel like Niz. That's kind of like where I'm going, but I respect the Nizai. I respect the Shiny as well as possible guesses as well, but I'm not 100% sure. I just think Niz seems to be the best one to go with. It's very
Anyone
quiet
else?
though.
Yeah, anyone else?
Our Nez Towers seem to be very, very quiet.
Yeah, what's going on there, Jolly and Demas?
And Mitchell?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of just processing.
I'm still trying to settle on something.
Take the Nijaz out of the equation. I'm a little lost right now.
I like
I would
this.
lean
I love
towards,
this.
long face.
I would lean towards Shiny. I would lean towards Shiny if not.
That was the first thing I
Nice.
noticed, actually. Better.
yeah, she does have kind of like a long face.
She kind of does.
You're the billowy gesturing.
I mean, like when I was thinking Nijai, what was throwing me off, or what I felt was like she looked a little more subjective. And that's sort of why I felt what started the
long face, I
the
guess.
Naiji route. So,
But she's not just a voice actor. She's an actress. Played in Bold and Beautiful.
I think either the Nizaz seem like good choices.
Well, she's played in The Bold and the Beautiful, and one thing is that there's been a lot of like ad-servers with really good G
Yeah.
in Bold and Beautiful, apparently.
Does the-
Soap operas.
Yeah.
I think
Do you
I
think
just mentioned before. It doesn't mean she is.
Yeah.
Because there are other mojos in there for sure, but there's a higher concentration, so this may be something to look at.
So we're thinking now.
what do Adimas and Jolene, what do you guys think?
Jylene said Shiny. I think I might lean Shiny too.
Shiny.
I'm gonna say
I like that.
either Shiny or Nizai.
Shiny Nizai.
As a secondary guess, I'd probably throw in Nizai.
Yeah.
So everyone has their guess?
Yeah, Mitchell. Did you say one?
Yeah, I'll probably go with Shiny for my first guess. Not really sure about the second one, to be honest.
You don't have to have a second guess. If you want
Okay.
it, optional.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not sure. I'm really not super confident in that.
Okay. Severin's gone. Starglow, do you go?
I wouldn't guess. I didn't have to.
I wouldn't guess at this point either, except because
It's
it
fine.
really threw me to take the
She's tough.
ninjas out.
She's tough.
She's very tough. She's a tough one for sure. Okay, I'm going to give it to you all. She is a Shiny
Nice.
Nice.
Shiny.
with a
Okay.
very good game. She has a really good game. Her forward leaning threw me for a bit.
So
But-
it was kind of a combination between Naiji and Nijai. Sort of
Yeah,
got
I
some
will-
ramen.
But two things you guys noted. You did notice something, but earlier, but you didn't go in more on it. One is that her gesturing, when she extends, she leans away from her gesturing a lot.
Yeah.
The other one is the thing you mentioned, Starglow, is actually an adaptive maneuver that is favored by the towers. Both Xylee and Demas do it, which is pointing with the palm up. That's a yin
That's
way.
a tower
of point-
cue.
It's a tower cue, and this kind of whipping, both Xylee and Demas, they kind of whip their point, and it's underhanded at the end. Like that.
That's the tower cue. I have a new tower cue.
Indeed.
Yay!
Yeah, that's so weird for me, like to point that way.
It is. So.
The tower cues like.
But she was tough because she was leaning forward a lot, and her articulation was excellent.
See, I
Yeah,
can do
really
that,
difficult.
but it feels very uncomfortable for me. It's not my native way.
What were you saying, Mitchell? Are you saying that's from natural, Mitchell?
Yeah, no, I was like trying to mimic tower cues, and it's like I've always found like they're the most fun. Like they're just so the farthest away from the yinness.
See, I can do it. It just as I look.
I can do it. It's just so not how I would point.
I look stupid
was-
doing
Naturally
it.
have an
Yeah.
instinct to like stick my arm.
I was really seeing like the values based and then going up through the eyes, and I was thinking Jinai because she has such good game. She is like really articulate.
Very good game.
Good.
What?
Yeah.
Very
And
elegant.
she takes a very proactive stance in her interviews, which is really cool to see, but not so common with Tower.
Yeah.
Well, the main two things I was seeing was the total values base and the subjectivity. And so,
Yeah.
in my mind,
I was between the sub-ROMs at first. That's actually I was between the sub-ROMs and Nai-Z. Those three subjective interpreters, not the Zai-Ni, but the other three subjective interpreters is where I started. And I was actually thinking Nai Alpha at first, but I was like, something's not right. And I was like, oh, it's Shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't seem like. She seems more like not like trying to move the dynamics. She seems more like just reactionary in a way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but she definitely has like a gameness to
Yes.
us, which is cool.
she's really good at the game. So
And she came, which Towers have to do the most of all the mojos. She came with energy to spend. She knew that she needed to be up, and she came up and stayed up.
and she can roll her Zhai through her G like I can't do.
CB, yeah.
She rolls her Zhai through her G, and it looks like G.
Jai
Well, it's
through
very
her
warm. It's very. I know she means though. It's very warm articulation because of the Jai in it, but actually it's deadpan. When she tosses her head forward, two things: it's deadpan, and she tends to crumple her head a little bit to the left or do other things with her shoulders and neck to
Yeah.
soften the jut. Notice when she pulls back. When she pulls back quick, and does these big like big Jai things. And
Yes, you're
she kind of
absolutely
reminds me a
right.
little bit of Jenna Malone one here, and also a young Melanie Griffith before she had any work done.
Mm.
They also both have quite a bit of a gameness to them when they come out. They have good knee and Z.
But it's that rolling of the
Yeah.
Zhai through the Z that is a game that I don't naturally have, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
No, she had a really cool game to observe. Excellent. Okay, so that was a nice little treat for the end there. Do we have anything before we sign off? No. Okay. That was a great session. And next week we'll probably do maybe some more accuracies. I'm not sure, but I'll probably not do a hint this time. I'll kind of play around doing that periodically. But
Yeah.
I'll take a break from this week.
Yeah, you might.
Let's have
Thanks,
some
Coach.
variety.
I know I'm the only one that didn't like that, but oh my goodness.
No, it's good. No, I do think.
I actually started to see the downsides after I got like a bunch of them wrong. Like I
Maybe
started to know,
Coach-
if I had been more open on this one, you know.
I think that's. Go ahead. You're saying.
I just wanted to say because I feel like we've been doing quite a bit of like the 7, 8, 9 in that range. Maybe we can try going a little bit lower in the next
Yeah.
one.
That's
No
what I was
problem.
thinking.
Good.
If I would love to do the scorpions because I've been watching the show, and so I'd love to be able to do the mojos while I watch.
Okay, well, I can see if I can do that. Maybe throw in another actress or two or something to make maybe like a 5 or 6 quiz. Sound good?
Sure. That sounds good.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I'll do a handful, and I'll get scorpions in there.
Thanks, Ademus.
Yeah,
Have a great night, everybody. And look for that quiz to come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was fun. Have a good night, everyone.
No, I'll see you tomorrow. Totally.
I have no idea.